What's up, y'all? It's King Combs. And right now, I'm taking over my pop's Instagram.
The fall of a music mogul. Diddy's legal empire under fire. From chart-topping hits to federal indictments, Sean Diddy Combs' dramatic fall from grace is rapidly unfolding, and now the scandal has entangled his son King Combs in a mounting wave of controversy. Once seen as music royalty, the Combs family now finds itself at the center of one of the most explosive legal sagas in entertainment history. While Diddy sits behind bars at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn awaiting trial, his son Christian King Combs has remained outwardly supportive, posting messages of solidarity, but staying silent on the disturbing allegations that now include his name. Recently, King Combs was hit with a sexual assault lawsuit of his own, further complicating an already high-stakes case. Rumors are swirling that Diddy is pressuring his son to stay quiet, a move that's reportedly causing tension, both behind the scenes and in the courtroom. Diddy's legal reckoning. In September 2024, federal authorities arrested Diddy on a sweeping indictment that includes charges of sex trafficking by force, racketeering, conspiracy, and transporting individuals for the purposes of prostitution. These are not minor accusations. If convicted, Diddy could face decades behind bars. He has pleaded not guilty, and his trial is scheduled to begin on May 5, 2025. With opening statements set for May 12th, multiple requests for bail have been denied, due to concerns about him being a flight risk and possibly tampering with witnesses. According to prosecutors, Combs allegedly ran a criminal operation over more than a decade. Central to the indictment are so-called freak-offs, drug-fueled sexual events that the government claims were coercive, not consensual. Victims were allegedly manipulated through fear, violence, and the use of drugs like ketamine and ecstasy. When federal agents raided Diddy's homes in Los Angeles and Miami, they reportedly seized firearms, ammunition, and over 1,000 bottles of lubricant. Items prosecutors argue are linked directly to the alleged incidents. Legal defense and public pressure. Since his arrest, Diddy's legal team has seen major changes. One of his original attorneys, Anthony Rico, withdrew from the case in February 2025, citing confidential reasons. He's now represented by Brian Steele, known for defending rapper Young Thug, along with Mark Agnifilo and Tenny Garagos. Sources say Diddy has also been seeking a black female attorney, likely in an effort to diversify his team in anticipation of the highly publicized trial. But the federal case is just one piece of a much larger story. Since November 2023, Diddy has faced more than 60 civil lawsuits involving allegations of sexual misconduct dating back over 30 years. The wave began with a lawsuit from Cassie Ventura, his former partner of nearly a decade, who accused him of trafficking and long-term abuse. Though that case was settled within days for an undisclosed amount, it opened the floodgates for a long line of accusers. What happens next? As the May trial date approaches, the spotlight on Diddy intensifies with mounting criminal charges, dozens of civil cases, and now his own son under legal scrutiny. The stakes have never been higher. What was once a billion-dollar brand is now under siege, and how this trial plays out could reshape not only Diddy's legacy, but the music industry's response to abuse and accountability at the highest levels. Viewer discretion is strongly advised as this story continues to unfold, given the sensitive and disturbing nature of the allegations. Would you like a shorter summary version for social media or video narration?
The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura.
In May 2024, CNN released surveillance footage from 2016 that appeared to show Sean Diddy Combs physically assaulting Cassie Ventura in a hotel hallway, graphic evidence that lent credibility to her earlier claims. In response, Combs issued a video apology, calling his actions inexcusable and saying he takes full responsibility for his behavior.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you gotta do that. I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
More than 60 individuals have filed lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs, alleging a range of sexual misconduct dating back to the 1990s. The claims include drugging, rape, exploitation, and abuse of minors. Liza Gardner alleged that Combs and singer Aaron Hall raped her and a friend after an MCA Records event in the early 1990s. Former model Crystal McKenna said Combs drugged and sexually assaulted her in his New York studio in 2003. April Lampro accused him of 4 separate assaults between 1995 and 2001. Producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones claimed unwanted sexual advances and being forced into sexual situations involving sex workers. Particularly disturbing are allegations involving minors. Several anonymous plaintiffs, male and female, say Combs assaulted them, while underage, some as young as 10. One Jane Doe alleged Combs raped her at age 13 during a house party in 2000. Many of the cases were filed under New York's Adult Survivors Act and Gender-Motivated Violence Act, which lifted the statute of limitations for survivors. Combs, through his legal team, has denied all accusations, calling them false and financially motivated. He has consistently maintained that he has never sexually assaulted anyone. When pressed, attorney Mark reportedly asked, "Would you be open to a plea bargain?"
Would you be open to a plea bargain?
Well, it's not up to me. It's up to Mr. Combs, and I don't see it happening.
Why?
Because he believes he's innocent. He believes he's innocent, and what's more, he believes that he needs to stand up.
Here's a rewritten version of your content, structured and condensed to approximately 1,000 words, while maintaining all the key details. Diddy's legal storm, a former mogul's fall defense plans, and the shadow of star-studded parties. As Sean Diddy, Combs awaits trial on charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. His legal team is preparing a robust defense strategy. Once a billionaire and cultural icon, Combs now resides in one of America's most notorious detention centers, far from the opulent lifestyle he once flaunted. Behind bars, the man known for revolutionizing hip-hop and building an entertainment empire is confronting a reality that contrasts sharply with the glamour of his past. As the trial set for May 2025 approaches, Diddy's attorneys are reportedly focused on discrediting the prosecution's witnesses and questioning the credibility of the accusers. Sources close to the case indicate that the defense may argue that many of the relationships were consensual and that key evidence lacks substantiation. They are also likely to frame Diddy as a target due to his wealth and visibility, arguing that the charges are exaggerated or fabricated in the wake of broader cultural reckonings. At the center of the storm are Diddy's legendary parties, especially his famed white parties, which were held from 1998 to 2009 in lavish locations like the Hamptons, Miami, and Los Angeles. These events were once the pinnacle of Hollywood's elite social calendar, attracting A-list celebrities from across the music, film, fashion, and business worlds. According to the BBC, these exclusive affairs were symbols of power and success, often drawing names like Mariah Carey, Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, Jennifer Lopez, and even politicians and fashion icons. However, the glamorous sheen of these parties has since faded in light of the criminal charges Combs now faces. Notably, there is growing scrutiny over the difference between the well-documented public-facing white parties and the more secretive, controversial gatherings known as freak-off, where some of the most disturbing allegations originate. These allegedly private events, according to accusers, were more than just wild after-party. They were carefully orchestrated affairs involving coercion and exploitation. While photographs and media reports document the presence of many celebrities at Diddy's public events, it is essential to note that attendance does not equate to involvement in any misconduct. The majority of these gatherings were, by all appearances, standard industry parties. Still, in the court of public opinion, association with Diddy during his heyday now comes with a degree of. Justin Bieber is among the celebrities whose name has come up in connection to Diddy's party. According to US Magazine and Howard Stern, Bieber was a guest at several Combs-hosted events, with Stern.
As for Diddy's ex J-Lo, fans also dug up her 2015 appearance on The Wendy Williams Show. Her mom, Guadalupe, reacting to a rekindled romance.
I could always see you getting back with Puffy in a little way.
The joke, originally made in jest, now carries a chilling significance in light of the serious charges Diddy currently faces. Interestingly, even Diddy himself appeared to foreshadow his legal troubles long before they surfaced.
Rosie O'Donnell's joke about Diddy nearly 25 years ago hitting a little different in 2024.
Here is a rewritten and polished version of your passage, expanded and structured into approximately 1,100 words. Diddy behind bars. The case, the defense, the fallout, and a vanishing attorney. One of the most challenging aspects of assessing potential celebrity involvement in the ongoing legal case against Sean Diddy Combs lies in the ambiguity surrounding which of his infamous events were the alleged freak-offs gatherings now at the center of serious criminal allegations. Without concrete information distinguishing public parties from private, more sinister affairs, it becomes incredibly difficult to determine who may have witnessed or had knowledge of the alleged misconduct. This murky context also complicates legal liability. While dozens of celebrities have confirmed attendance at Diddy's high-profile parties, the lack of clarity about what went on behind closed doors makes the question of awareness or complicity difficult to resolve. To understand the broader implications of the case, including the high-profile departure of defense attorney Anthony Rico and its possible impact on the proceedings, it's necessary to grasp the full scope of the charges Combs now faces and how rapidly his situation has deteriorated. Diddy was arrested in September 2024 and charged with sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and the transportation of individuals for prostitution. Federal prosecutors allege that Combs used his wealth, power, and network of associates to coerce women and male sex workers into drug-fueled sexual performances. According to the indictment, he used methods including blackmail, intimidation, and violence to maintain control over his victims. In March 2025, a superseding indictment added further charges including forced labor and another count of sex trafficking. These developments brought the total number of criminal counts against Combs to 5. Despite these mounting accusations, Diddy has pleaded not guilty to all charges and maintains that he is being targeted unfairly due to his public status and past. The fall from grace has been swift and shocking. The man once hailed as hip-hop royalty, a business mogul who collaborated with Fortune 500 companies and mingled with global elites, now finds himself confined to a jail cell in one of the most notorious detention centers in the United States. Diddy is currently being held without bail at the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, in Brooklyn, a facility infamous for its harsh and often brutal conditions. Court filings have described MDC as a hell on earth, citing rampant violence, inhumane living conditions, and systemic failures. In October 2024, just before Diddy's arrival, federal investigators conducted a sweep of the facility and uncovered an array of contraband including narcotics, improvised weapons, and illegal electronic devices, underscoring the serious security challenges within its walls. In a particularly cruel twist of fate, the man once surrounded by luxury now spends his days in a stark 8x 10-foot cell described by former inmate Michael Cohen as disgusting, with a thin 5-inch mattress, no pillow, and no privacy. For security reasons, Diddy is currently housed in Special Housing Unit, SHU, a form of solitary confinement that offers added protection for high-profile or vulnerable inmates. While this isolation prevents potential threats from other prisoners, it also significantly restricts his access to legal resources and hampers communication with his defense team. Diddy's attorney Mark Agnifilo has confirmed that these constraints are making trial preparation more difficult, especially with the trial date looming. Diddy now lives under tight restrictions with brief weekly visits and heavily monitored 15-minute phone calls. In March 2025, excerpts from a monitored call between Combs and Ye, formerly Kanye West, were leaked to the press, serving as a grim reminder of how incarceration strips even the most powerful of their privacy. The growing complexity of the case reached a new level in March 2025 with the sudden withdrawal of attorney Anthony Rico, a key member of Diddy's legal team. Rico's exit has raised eyebrows in legal circles, particularly given the proximity to the scheduled start of the trial in May 2025. Legal analysts have pointed out that such a departure is rarely a good sign, especially in a case of this magnitude. Stephen A. Smith, a prominent legal commentator and sports personality, addressed Rico's departure in a video commentary. "Let me say this, anytime an attorney backs out, that's not a good look." Now, there could be a variety of reasons for this, we all understand that, but anytime an attorney backs out, particularly of a high-profile case like this, it's not a good look. Period. While the exact reason for Rico's withdrawal remains unclear, its timing undeniably adds stress to a defense team already scrambling to prepare. With jury selection scheduled for May 5, 2025, Diddy's restructured legal team has precious little time to finalize their approach. Despite this setback, Combs still retains a group of 5 attorneys. Among the newest additions is Brian Steele, a high-profile litigator known for aggressive trial strategy and handling damage control in crisis situations. Legal experts believe that Steele's inclusion signals the defense's intent to go on the offensive in court, particularly in challenging the settlability of the evidence seized and undermining the prosecution's witnesses. The suppression of evidence will likely be a key battleground in the pretrial phase. During federal raids of Diddy's properties in late 2024, agents reportedly recovered narcotics, multiple firearms with defaced serial numbers, and over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant, which prosecutors allege were used during his so-called freak-off parties. The defense has filed motions to exclude this evidence, arguing it was obtained improperly or is irrelevant to the specific charges. If these suppression motions succeed, it could significantly weaken the government's case. If denied, the prosecution will have a more vivid and disturbing narrative to present to the jury. Meanwhile, the media firestorm surrounding the case continues to intensify. In addition to the criminal trial, Diddy is also facing over 60 civil lawsuits alleging various forms of sexual misconduct, abuse, and coercion. Public interest in the trial has been enormous, driven not only by the gravity of the charges, but also by Diddy's massive influence in the entertainment industry. Adding to the surreal nature of this scandal is a resurfaced moment from the 2000 Grammy Awards where comedian Rosie O'Donnell made a joke at Diddy's expense. At the time, the jab seemed like harmless awards show banter, but in hindsight, considering the charges now facing Combs, the joke has taken on a chilling new significance. In a strange twist of irony, even Diddy himself once made comments that seemed to foreshadow the trouble he now finds himself in. As jury selection nears, the world is watching. The outcome of this trial could reshape the public's understanding of one of hip-hop's most iconic figures, and perhaps more broadly, script or article format for YouTube narration or another platform.